Welcome to The Nation. I'm RATNAM. The semiconductor race is reshaping economies, alliances, and industries. And Southeast Asia is no longer just part of that chain. It's fast becoming a strategic hub. Now, to unpack the shift, I'm joined by CHUNG, Customer Support Service Performance Manager at ASML from the Netherlands. Of course, thank you so much, Sung-Ming, for taking time off to be with us. Well, a lot to talk about with regards to the semiconductor race and the industry here in Malaysia. But before we start, I'd like to just begin with what's been in the news and also which has been brought to us by the economic desk. Trump has just been talking about a 300% tariff on semiconductors, and of course doing this whilst he was on Air Force One in the style of Trump. We don't know what the details are, but that's what we know for now. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, as you said, we don't know the details yet, but I'm expecting that this will again cause another round of big discussions within all the different nations, especially China, Taiwan, and how it's going to impact the industry in a whole. And yeah, this is going to be difficult, and for Asian nations, I don't know where, especially in Malaysia, which is the hub for packaging, the impact could be big, but again, without the details, it's difficult to say. But
so we talk about semiconductor, we hear it in the news all the time, and all of us like to act like we know what we're talking about, but basically most of us don't know how big this industry is. Can you just give us an idea, just before we continue with this conversation, as to how big semiconductor is around the world in Malaysia, and how does it affect everyday life?
Well, I think I don't need to start far. I mean, now just with your bank card, you have a chip in there. With the Touch and Go card, there is a chip in there. That is a semiconductor in there. And you can go up to even just a daily use of your mobile phone. Without semiconductor, you would not be holding any mobile phone or even as advanced as what you have here. So semiconductor basically is touching everyone's life from young age till the old folks. Everyone is dependent on semiconductor, because without semiconductor, you would not be at this time, at this age, and I would not even be talking to you with, in this studio.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So many Malaysians would be wondering what ASML is. We're going to move into that very soon. But tell us a little bit about your journey within the whole semiconductor chain or industry here in Malaysia, and also outside within the region and in the world too.
Yep. So I actually did not start with semiconductor when I was studying here in Malaysia, but when I moved over to Europe and when I did my PhD, that was when my semiconductor journey started. So I did a research on, at that time about 20 years ago, I did a research on how to shrink devices and what are the impacts that we need to take into account in the shrinking of the devices. And at the end of my PhD journey, I applied to ASML, which was one of the biggest semiconductor manufacturing company in the Netherlands. And I was lucky enough to be accepted. And from then on, I've been in this industry the last 19 plus years. And I've seen, how the semiconductor world has changed. And it's quite a miracle journey.
When you say a miracle, okay, give us an idea of what is a miracle within the industry, like something that we've seen in our everyday lives. Of course, we've got our phones, our laptops, our what you call devices, but I'm sure you've seen a little bit more, which you can explain to us with regards to that.
I mean, just look at how fast AI has developed just within the last couple of years. I don't think anyone has ever expected AI to be such a big thing, even just within 2 years. And it's now basically the talk of not the town, but basically the whole world. Everyone is talking about AI. We have China, you have US, you have Europe, you have Southeast Asia, Australia. Everywhere basically is just AI, 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 AI. And I believe just before this, on my way here, I heard on the radio, the Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim talking about AI being the main thing that needs to be focused here in Malaysia. So, when I joined the industry, I never expected this to be, because everyone would be thinking, oh, AI, it will never happen in our time. But just look how fast it has changed within this 20 years.
Right. It's very interesting that when you talk about semiconductors. Not many of us are privy to this knowledge, but the Netherlands is home to one of the most advanced semiconductors ecosystem in the world, and the Netherlands are a good friend of Malaysia. They've helped us quite a bit, and we've worked on a lot of projects together now. So when you talk about semiconductor ecosystems in the world, they've got companies like ASML, the one you're in. There's NXP. Explain this to us. ASM and BSI, or should I just say BSI?
It can be. It is known also as BSI or
right.
Semiconductor.
From your perspective, what makes this ecosystem so unique and competitive globally?
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting thing because Netherlands, as you know, is a very small country, but it has developed this whole ecosystem even way back in the 20 years ago when I joined ASML. And what is driving this, at least from what I believe, is the innovation of the Dutch and also their think out of the box way of doing things. And with these two combined, they have developed and established this whole manufacturing industry there that has now the major players for the semiconductor industry that we see running in Taiwan, TSMC, in China, in Japan, and even a part of US. So this whole ecosystem in the Netherlands has been there, but it's just only now coming above and becoming the star of the industry in the last couple of years. But it has always been there, and this is why the ecosystem there is very well established. They have the government has taken all the needed necessary steps. Private sector there has done what they can in order to make sure that they are always in this stability and keeping this whole industry moving.
Right, we're going to come back to the Netherlands shortly, but I'd like to now juxtapose that against where we are. So if you hear people in the industry talk about semiconductor in Malaysia or semiconductors in Malaysia, we always say we are low end, you know, and we need to move up the value chain. What does that mean? Now, when you say low end, where are we? And moving up the value chain, what do we have to do to get up there?
Yeah, from my opinion, what I see...
And we'll get back to the Netherlands shortly, yeah.
So from what I'm seeing here is that Malaysia is very good in packaging. We have been good in packaging even since when I was studying here in my primary and my secondary years. So that's about 40 plus years ago.
Right.
And looking at how it has progressed a bit, but it's just not enough for it to progress to the level where we go into what we call advanced packaging or packaging for high-tech technology. It is still remaining in that part of the technology that is not too niche, but is still needed. For example, the chips that are needed for automotive, but they are not the chips that drives your smartphone, that drives your your laptop. So that part of it is not yet completely.
So can we then say it's not the crucial chips in the makeup of a device?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're sort of the support part of this.
Yeah.
So moving up, what can be done now? Say we want to move up the value chain in the next 5 years. What can we do now to make that happen?
Yeah.
What should policymakers think of now?
Yeah, if I were to, from my point of view, I think what's needed is one, education. We need to make sure that our young pool of talent are getting the correct education, and not only education itself, but also the application of what they have learned into the industry. Secondly is the investment into the R&D. So in fact, I visited NXP a few days ago. They do have an R&D department there. So are they sufficient enough to push the nation further into this? And of course, having the correct workforce talent.
Right, so that's it. When you say workforce, and I'm sorry I'm interjecting here, culturally, or when it comes to work ethics, what's different between us and the Netherlands? And I'm not nitpicking here, just so we know where we want to move to.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Netherlands, it's the working culture there, even though it might seem but it's a very well balanced, yet they are still able to work efficiently in order to produce what is needed. Well, and I find that, and I call that to be working smart. While here I do see, yes, there is a good work culture here, but it's more working harder. but still the level of knowledge, I believe, is just not there in order to push, to make that needed push into that niche market. Because yeah, if you're not able to provide, you do not get the trust from companies in order to invest into that market, then it's very difficult. So I believe we do need to prove ourselves first that we are able to support these workforce in here in order to work in that niche part of it.
Right, we're always hearing, and I digress, we're always hearing about global chip shortage and supply chain disruptions. That's been the talk for the past couple of years now, and it's becoming very, suddenly there's supply, then it's intermittent, and then there's no supply. Now, how has the Netherlands semiconductor sector responded to these challenges? You say they've got a robust sector, but how do they respond to challenges of this nature?
So if you actually just look at the semiconductor industry itself, in fact, all these supply chain problem is not really new, because the whole semiconductor industry itself is a cyclical industry. So it basically has its ups and its downs. So due to this ups and downs since years and years, the whole industry, especially manufacturing industry, they have learned to adapt to these type of situations. So no matter what's happening now, we are adapting. And this is not new to them. So they will discuss with the supplier, with their customers in order to adjust what is needed to the current situation.
Now let's move to Southeast Asia and the semiconductor collaboration we sort of have here. Now Southeast Asia is becoming, or we say is becoming, an important hub for semiconductor manufacturing and assembly. From where you are and the knowledge you've acquired along the years, how do you see the region's strengths compared to other parts of the world? We say there's a lot of potential in Southeast Asia, but these are the usual cliches you'll hear. So what do you actually see from your vantage point?
Yeah, from what I see, I think Southeast Asia is quite an interesting region because geopolitically it is quite stable, and there's no any natural disaster here that can disrupt any of the supply chain. So it is in general a very stable nation, and I mean, you can just take Singapore itself. They are one of the top nation here in this region that is producing niche semiconductor. So if Singapore can do it, then my expectation is that all the rest of the other Southeast Asian nations will be able to do it, and especially now with this whole young pool of generation, with the correct level of knowledge, education, experience, I'm quite sure in combination, together working with ASEAN, the nation will be able to work towards this goal of becoming one of the semiconductor hubs. Yeah.
So you know what's happening in the Netherlands and all the companies that work around here now. What are or who are the strategic partners of the Netherlands here in our neck of the woods, in Southeast Asia and all that?
Yeah. So we have started with working with Malaysia. Because the Netherlands has been working.
We've started, which means they've never worked with Malaysia on semiconductor.
No, so it was basically not much activities have been done, but because the Netherlands recognizes Malaysia as one of the potential country due to its packing industry and also with the young workforce and the talent and the education system here. So they are starting to work with Malaysia, but at the same time also with Vietnam, due to the fast growth that we are seeing in Vietnam. So these are the two main countries that the Netherlands is working with first.
So politically, internationally, how does that work when you talk about public diplomacy? So China sort of works with Vietnam already, and then we have Netherlands working there. Is there any conflict or any areas that are gray with regards to this semiconductors?
No, I don't see any conflicts. I believe that, every country, China working with Vietnam, Netherlands working with Vietnam, this is just for the good of the region, and I don't think politics play a very big role in this, will not impact here too much.
Right, so saying people from Malaysia or companies in Malaysia and also around, they're watching this and they're saying, what kind of opportunities are there with regards to collaboration with ASML or the Netherlands and working together in this region? We're always trying to create a better network. Are there any opportunities at this point, and how can people leverage on these opportunities?
Oh, I see a lot of opportunities here. I mean, collaborations with with the technical universities in Netherlands, with the different industry players in the Netherlands. What can be done here is we can do an exchange of workforce improvement, talent improvement, and even helping the suppliers here to upgrade their manufacturing processes and products to produce the needed high-end value items that can be used in the industry, and therefore bringing the value chain of the country to the next level.
Now, I guess for the industry to move forward, we must have the involvement of the young people.
Yes.
At university level. There's just a lot of things that can be done. What are some of the projects or initiatives that are ongoing now that will help improve the industry in the next few years?
So the Netherlands has started in a cooperation with the Dutch embassy here, but also with the different other partners that are working here in this region, including some of the major players here in Malaysia itself. We have organized what we call the Short Talent Program.
Short Talent Program.
Yes, yep. Sort of a summer school. And in this program, we have selected about 52 participants from 6 different ASEAN regions who are working in the whole electrical and semiconductor world, and they are in their final year of bachelor's or their master's. And this program aims to cultivate further the interests and the opportunities that are available in this semiconductor industry. So this really helps to make sure that we are making sure that this pool of young students, of young people, they do realize what are the opportunities and how they can explore and benefit moving forward in this industry.
Right, so has the program started? How far in are we with the program? Can you give us more details on that, please?
Yes, so this program started 1 week ago. It's a 2-week program, and we do have guest lecturers from different universities from the Netherlands, from R&D institutes in the Netherlands, but we also have industrial experts such as me and a colleague of mine who are also here in order to give from the industrial point of view how the semiconductor world is, what do we expect from these students, and how they can benefit from the from this different inputs that they get from the lecturers. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to digress a little bit, and this is about traction. With the program running for a week already, and there's one more week to look into with regards to how this program is going to move forward, and also when you assess the program, is it gaining traction from the media? Are media people interested in it? Because we're talking about semiconductors all the time. Has this program gained any media attention in Malaysia?
Yes, I guess if
other than this.
So I think it has gained some attention, but maybe it's not that level that is compared to other news, and we do see it in LinkedIn that there are some pickup of this program.
There's some sort of social pickup on this, social media traction, so to speak. Now, having said that, skills and knowledge, what kind of skills and knowledge do you aim to provide after 2 weeks? What are these people or participants going to walk away with? And how are we going to further replicate that?
Yeah. So basically, what our expectation is that after this program, these students, they will walk away with an open mind and an understanding of both academic path and industrial path in their studies, and how they should look at their study trajectory into what they want to do, and based on that, how they want to do it, and also to whom can they speak to if needed. So this is basically opening a door to them, telling them this is what we can offer to you. There's lots of opportunity. If you want to be in this industry, whether in the industrial world or in the academic world, these are your opportunities. So let us know.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending on the exchange rate, this question might be $1 million or $1 billion question. So how do you think this program will help bridge the gap between the talent gap between the semiconductor industry, particularly in Europe and in Southeast Asia? Do you think it will in the first place?
Yes, I think it will, because we will, if this is successful and if students are interested, this will bring the two worlds closer together without, without any doubt.
Right. Yeah. So with what's happening around the country and also within the region, it's a big year for Malaysia with us chairing ASEAN.
Yeah.
Now, what would be your takeaway to say policymakers and also to parents who want to sort of, they need to sort of plot a journey with regards to education, and if, say, semiconductor is the way they want to go with regards to education for their kids, which is the way forward, industry-wise? Yeah,
so from ASEAN point of view, I think this is a very interesting point, because I think Malaysia now being the ASEAN head for now, I think they can set the tone to all the other ASEAN countries in order to work together, because I think the semiconductor industry is just so big, and you do need to work together, just like how it is being done in Europe with the EU. They have the EU Chip Act. So I think in ASEAN, they should form this cooperation together with the different ASEAN nations.
The EU Chip Act, so we should start something like that in ASEAN?
I would say, why not? Because this is really for the region, and with that, you can work together with the whole ASEAN region, the different partners, in order to get the correct investment and not compete with each other to try to win to try to get a piece of the pie. I think the pie is big enough for everyone to share.
Right. So in the last few months of its chairmanship of ASEAN, you think Malaysia should move that idea now before the baton is passed?
I would say so, yes, because I think this is a great opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, now we are interested in getting AI, and I understood also that we are trying to get the design industry here. And I saw a lot of investment has already been done and promised to be invested here. So, and Vietnam is getting also traction. We have the Philippines too. They are also in the packaging industry, and they do have some investment too. So I think if all these countries work together, you can combine and get a nice, fair share of what is happening in the industry.
Sung-Ming, it's a pleasure and honor having you here in the studios, and also the fantastic work you're doing with regards to semiconductors. Thank you very much for filling us in. That was Sung-Ming Chung on Southeast Asia's growing role in the semiconductor era. As the race for chips accelerates, the region's challenge will be to turn opportunity into long-term advantage. I'm GERARD RATNAM. Thanks for watching. This is The Nation. We'll see you next time. Thanks for staying with us right here on RATNAM TV.